Alrighty, good evening everybody, and welcome to the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show, also sponsored by Dubrook. My name is Brock Jordan. We're here at the Haskell House, and my special guest tonight is Mr. Austin Ion. Austin, thanks for being here. We appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Of course. So if you haven't kept up with the football news, it's been a couple months now, so if you forgot, Austin, he's been at Keystone High School now, his alma mater, coaching the last, 8 years you were there?
Yeah.
And he's making the switch, taking a head coaching job over at Franklin. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about a little bit of his high school career and his college career. We're going to talk about his coaching experiences, and we're going to get into all kinds of good stuff tonight. So hope you guys stay tuned, and we're going to take a real quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Redbank Chevrolet, Clarion County's trusted vehicle dealer. At Redbank Chevrolet, we're more than just a dealership. We're your neighbors, your go-to team for everything Chevy. From the moment you walk through our doors, we're here to exceed your expectations with unbeatable service, great selection, and a fun car buying experience. Stop by or schedule your visit today. Together, let's drive.
At Clarion Forest VNA, we bring compassionate care to your doorstep. From skilled nursing to hospice services, we're here for you and your loved ones. Clarion Forest VNA, your trusted partner in home health care.
For over 50 years, Carly Tire and Clarion has been keeping you rolling with quality tires for all your driving needs. And now, we're more than just tires. From state inspections to oil changes to brakes and total car care, Carly Tire is your one-stop shop to keep your vehicle safe and running smooth. Experience hometown service you can trust and quality you can count on. Carly Tire, the area's largest selection of tires. Stop in today and see why Clarion has trusted us for over 50 years.
Your eyes are the window to your soul, so take care of them. The Laurel Eye Clinic provides complete care from annual exams, glasses and contacts to cataract and retinal surgery, LASIK and more. As a trusted leader in family eye care for 50 years, you can trust them with yours. Call or visit us online today.
Hi, my name is Jason and welcome to Sweet Basil. Come on in.
At First United National Bank Freiburg, the fun bank, we're more than a bank. We're your neighbor. From savings to home loans, we help you grow right where you belong. Stop in today and feel the difference at the Fun Bank.
Good luck to all of our area teams from Clarion Ford Chrysler.
Local sales team, local owners.
And remember to buy local at Clarion Ford Chrysler, where all your money stays to the local community.
Lung cancer screening has been shown to give people the best opportunity of beating lung cancer at a very early stage.
I'm Jane, and I received expert care here at Independence Health System.
Since 1946, we've delivered. From commercial to residential, we've got you covered. We proudly serve and support our local communities. Call 844-DUBROOK or visit us online. Dubrook, your trusted ready-mix concrete supplier.
Modern Living Solutions in Knox is always on the lookout for driven, positive individuals to join their team. They offer career growth opportunities and industry-leading pay. No experience is necessary as training is provided. Apply today and build a future with Modern Living Solutions.
You can afford a gorgeous, custom-designed hardwood Kales kitchen for a lot less than you'd pay at a DIY store. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. At Kales, there are never middleman markups or hidden charges that can add 40%. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. That's FactoryDirectKitchens.net.
Our focus has always been on you at Clarion County Community Bank. We're a full-service bank that offers the financial tools you need and the personal attention you deserve. You'll discover we're not just investing in our community, we're investing in you. Clarion County Community Bank.
Need reliable plumbing or heating services? Call Luton's Plumbing and Heating. fast, friendly, and available 24/7. Call them at 814-226-8695. This game is brought to you by Tionesta Builders? No, Tionesta Builder Supply. Family-owned and operated home improvement centers located in Tionesta and Shippenville.
PRC helps me with the flexibility of the class times. I'm able to balance work, our hobbies of racing, and our family time in general with being able to take classes when it's convenient for me.
Affordable opportunities are endless at Northern Pennsylvania Regional College. If you're looking to start next semester or next year, apply now at discovernprc.org. discovernprc.org.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show, also sponsored by Dubrook. This is Brock Jordan here with my guest Austin Ion, and we're gonna really get into. First, we're gonna start with the high school career. 3-sport athlete, and we'll start with, since you're coaching football, we'll start with baseball and basketball. I just happened to be looking at stats, and I was looking at baseball specifically, and I came through in career 300 hitter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much you want to put stock into that. I don't know if you noticed that there was like 16 strikeouts with that as well. But yes, I did hit 300. So
listen, we have this conversation all the time where you're close enough to that part where baseball's turned into nobody cares about the strikeouts anymore.
Yeah, we're getting there. I mean, if I was playing in professional baseball, I'd be in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
300 batting average, I'd be in the Hall of Fame. So.
Yeah, and then you got to be, especially your senior year, that basketball team you guys were on in 2017. It's very often you find a Keystone team that wasn't great, and again, you got to be a part of some good teams through your years there. So, talk about how important that's been, just in your career, being a part of some special teams.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'll be the first to tell you, and I think a lot of people, if you talk to them when I was growing up, basketball was by far my favorite sport. I loved hoops, just because it's one of those you can work on by yourself. You don't need other people to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Football, you need to have practice with all 11 guys. Baseball, you can get in a cage against a machine, but fielding, you need somebody hitting the ball. You need to work turn and two with your teammates. You need other people. Basketball is one of those, I could just go out in the driveway by myself for hours and shoot around, and I did. And it helped that I got to play for a legend in Greg Keith. I know he'll hate hearing me say that, but truly, I mean, I think that drove a lot of the fire to be successful, because you grow up as a kid, you watch those teams win those district titles, and then you just see the continued success throughout the years, and you're like, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a starter. I want to be good. I want to play for Coach Heath. So I think that drove a lot too, and I think that drove that group of guys I played with to also be as hungry as I was, because we wanted to be good. We wanted to be one of those teams that people still talk about or think about, or just they have a good season. So I mean, basketball, I love it. I love it to this day. It's a fun sport. So
I guess building off of that, what kind of made you go into the football coaching venture instead of basketball? Was it something you just enjoyed, you had a lot more knowledge of, or what kind of led you down that path?
Purely knowledge based. I wanted to play college basketball. That was my first goal. Like, I wanted to play college basketball. It's really hard to play college basketball. I mean, it's hard to play any college sport, but it's really hard to play college basketball. Most teams carry 15 to 20 guys, and that's it. So when I got the opportunity to play football at Grove City, it was one of those that, all right, football is going to be the next 4 years of my life. I'm going to spend a lot more time there. I'm going to spend a lot more time learning in there. I just feel it's more of a comfort thing and knowledge thing, that I feel that I'm smarter in football terms than I am in the basketball sense.
Right, and then on football, you played both sides of the ball. I saw, you had a few interceptions here and there. You played wide receiver on offense. When it comes to your coaching style, is that something that you'll be able to just kind of lean on, especially with like the skill position players on offense, the defensive backs on defense? You know, is that something that you're going to take into account that you can kind of specialize in when you're coaching?
Oh yeah, for sure. Playing both sides in high school, playing wide receiver in college. I really refined my craft receiver-wise in college, but I've spent the last 3 or 4 years at Keystone working with the DBs on the defensive side of the ball, which has really up my knowledge there more than when I was playing. Because when you're playing, you pay attention, but you don't pay attention sometimes. It's Wednesday, it's hot, you're tired, you want to go home, or you just don't really care that day.
Right.
So you're not paying attention as much. But when you're coaching it, you have to be paying attention. You have to know what's going on. So playing that in high school helped me. I had a solid base to start upon. When Todd said, hey, you know what, I want you to work with the DBs too, not just the receivers. Because when I was with Ryan, I was working with just the receivers, but we had other guys that could fill in and cover that side of the ball defensively. And Todd said, I want you to take over the DBs too. You've played it, you have a background with it. It definitely was a good starting point, and it was easier to relate and teach the kids. Obviously you research stuff every day. You want to get smarter every day. The game has changed since even 2015, 16. As a junior and senior, the game has changed and techniques have changed. So you're always trying to evolve, but definitely having that prior playing experience, you kind of, it's a little easier to coach it because you have the the ins and outs.
Right. And when it comes to your new gig at Franklin, we'll get into some of the guys maybe if you've hired some staff by now, but going back to the Grove City days, we've seen Grove City kind of become a school that's really recruiting around this area a lot more, it seems. Got a couple guys from Redbank heading that way. I know Union AC Valley player headed that way there. Last year was his first year. So, talk about some of these schools in the area like Grove City, Westminster, and of course, being a Grove City guy, you don't like hearing Westminster, but
we'll let it slide.
Yeah. Just talk about how important it is for some of these schools to really start getting into their local high schools and really recruiting some of these classes that, they're finding some very good athletes at these small schools in the area.
Yeah. The District 9 and even District 10, they have some really good players. Players that don't get looked at by bigger schools just because they're not D2, D1 built bodies, but they're D3 football players. And, there's some guys at Keystone the last few years where I've told them, like, yeah, I think you could play D3 ball, and they kind of give you that D3. I don't think they realize the level that D3 is. I mean, it's a whole nother level for varsity football. And, our starting offensive line at Grove City, and I was in school, I think they averaged 3 to 315, and that's huge.
Yeah,
you don't see that around here. And they can move and they can play. I mean, our left tackle that I played with, he was from New Hampshire. He was a state runner-up diver in high school.
Really?
So think about that. He was a state runner-up diver, came to Grove City, put on about 150 pounds, and started at left tackle. One of the most athletic freaks I've ever seen in my life. So it's a whole different level of ball, but we got guys in this area that can play at that level, and it's nice to see the local schools start to tap into that, because there are a lot of good players in your backyard that can help turn your programs around. I mean, when I was there was Tyler Beal, another Keystone guy. There was just a whole slew of Karn City guys: Dalton Callahan, Ethan Conto, Luke Salerno, just all local guys that all had big impacts on the program to help lay that foundation and turn things around. Even Jackson McFall from Oil City, another one, local guy. So it's been nice to see. It's been nice to see our athletes getting recognition and that they can play at the next level. I know, is it Mason Klaus? Is he the one that's out there now? I think he's the one that's out there. He started as safety last year as a sophomore for them. So guys around here are going to that level. They're getting to play, and they're showing that District 9, District 10 can play at the next level, and there are a lot of good players here. So it's nice to see, and it definitely is, I think, important for the local schools, especially D3. You don't give out athletic scholarships, so you gotta get guys that want to play for the love of the game, and local guys around here, they're gonna go play for the love of the game.
Right. Yeah, you're not gonna find too many athletes out here that they're looking for the money when they go to college and to play any sort of sport. It doesn't matter what sport it is. So, to have those guys that really aren't afraid to put their head down and get to work, they create some really special athletes. But, you know, talking about Grove City, during your process, you know, getting close to graduation, what were some of the big moments that you remember that kind of made you think Grove City was the place for me?
So we used to go there for team camp in the summer. We would spend 3 days there, my sophomore year, my junior, and my senior year. And I just loved the campus. It was a nice, quiet campus. It was a nice, quiet town. I started kind of paying attention after my junior year. I kind of started paying attention, more about the college and what they were and did, because I knew, you know, next summer I was going to have to start thinking about that. What do I want to do with my life after high school? And they really aligned with a lot of the things I believe and, you know, stand for. And it was kind of one of those, it was a match that I think I was headed there regardless of athletic opportunities. You know, I had talked to Steve Lammy, the basketball coach, about playing there. It didn't materialize. But then I remember, you know, that next summer we were there, senior year, at the last day of camp. We're getting ready to leave. Everybody's checking out. And Coach DiDonato comes over. He's like, hey, you know, we heard you wanted to play college basketball, but if you change your mind, you want to play college football, we'd love to have you. So I said, oh, okay. You know, that's something I didn't really consider. I also wasn't really sure if I was a college football level player. But I rolled with it, and you know, the recruiting process started, and I remember I went on a couple different visits and tours, and I went out one day in the fall. My dad and I went out because I had an interview, because when you apply, you have to do an interview out there. I did the interview. I met with my recruiter. His name was Coach Chin, and we sat, we talked, and I remember walking out, and my dad and I, we were just fired up. I mean, after listening, we were fired up. We probably got, I don't know, 10 feet out of the building where his office was, and we both stopped and looked at each other. And I was like, I think I'm in. Like, let's just not mess around. Like, this is it. And we turned right back around. We walked right back to Coach Chin's office, knocked on his door. Hey, I'm in. You know, we went down, saw Coach Dito, and then it was, you know, that kind of just, it was a quick decision. It didn't take long. It was just, this is the place I want to be. This is, I like the vibe, the feel. It was not a long process. It was pretty quick.
Yeah, and then, you know, playing in that collegiate area, you know, what are some of the connections that you've been able to make and even keep now, you know, especially only being about an hour from Grove City still? What are some of those connections that you've made that, you know, you still hold, and maybe that you've even asked for some advice when it comes into, you know, taking on a new role like a head coaching job?
Yeah, I mean, tons of friends, obviously, tons of friends from playing football. You know, the nice thing about playing college sports is you're guaranteed like 120 friends every year. That's about the roster size they carried when I was in school. I think they carry a few more now. But, you know, the coaches there, they're great guys. The one, Kendall Brest, he and I graduated together. He was a student coach our 4 years through. He was in my wedding a couple years ago, one of my best friends. You know, his dad was one of my position coaches. So just, you know, those relationships, Coach Dito, he's just a great guy. You know, there's certain guys you run through a brick wall for. You know, he's one, and he's very relational. And he, you know, I try to go back like every other year for spring ball practice to, you know, pick some new things up and learn. I was just out there this year, took some guys from my new staff, and we spent a Friday night out there, and, you know, they were very welcoming. They were very, you know, what's the word I want to use? Very open arms, if you will. You know, I talked to Coach Dito for probably half hour, 40 minutes after practice, just about, you know, everything. And, you know, they're always, you ever need anything, call. And I've reached out to, you know, different guys throughout the staff and picked their brain over the last few years, and I'm sure I will, you know, this fall too. So, you know, that's the one nice thing there, the relationships. It's a very big point of emphasis as your time as a player, and it definitely carries on.
Right.
After graduation.
Right. Yeah, so, I mean, obviously looking back now, I'm sure no regrets at all, right? You know, now seeing where you're at now, you have, you know, you got married, you know, now you're starting, you got into your coaching career early with your alma mater, and now you're kind of taking the reins. I'd have to imagine no regrets at this point, right?
No, not one at all, so.
That's awesome. Well, hey, we're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we're going to really we're gonna really maybe try and stump Austin here. We're gonna get into the coaching process now, and but we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Lung cancer screening has been shown to give people the best opportunity of beating lung cancer at a very early stage.
I'm Jane, and I received expert care here at Independence Health System.
Good luck to all of our area teams from Clarion Ford Chrysler.
Local sales team. Local owners.
And remember to buy local at Clarion Ford Chrysler, where all your money stays to the local community.
At First United National Bank Freiburg, the Fun Bank, we're more than a bank. We're your neighbor. From savings to home loans, we help you grow right where you belong. Stop in today and feel the difference at the Fun Bank.
Hi, my name is Jason, and welcome to Sweet Basil. Come on in.
Your eyes are the window to your soul, so take care of them. The Laurel Eye Clinic provides complete care from annual exams, glasses and contacts to cataract and retinal surgery, LASIK and more. As a trusted leader in family eye care for 50 years, you can trust them with yours. Call or visit us online today.
For over 50 years, Carly Tire in Clarion has been keeping you rolling with quality tires for all your driving needs. And now, we're more than just tires. From state inspections to oil changes to brakes and total car care, Carly Tire is your one-stop shop to keep your vehicle safe and running smooth. Experience hometown service you can trust and quality you can count on. Carly Tire, the area's largest selection of tires. Stop in today and see why Clarion has trusted us for over 50 years.
At Clarion Forest VNA, we bring compassionate care to your doorstep. From skilled nursing to hospice services, we're here for you and your loved ones. Clarion Forest VNA, your trusted partner in home health care.
Redbank Chevrolet, Clarion County's trusted vehicle dealer. At Redbank Chevrolet, we're more than just a dealership. We're your neighbors, your go-to team for everything Chevy. From the moment you walk through our doors, we're here to exceed your expectations with unbeatable service, great selection, and a fun car buying experience. Stop by or schedule your visit today. Together, let's drive.
Since 1946, we've delivered. From commercial to residential, we've got you covered. We proudly serve and support our local communities. Call 844-DEW-BROOK or visit us online. DEW-BROOK, your trusted ready-mix concrete supplier.
Modern Living Solutions in Knox is always on the lookout for driven, positive individuals to join their team. They offer career growth opportunities and industry-leading pay. No experience is necessary as training is provided. Apply today and build a future with Modern Living Solutions.
You can afford a gorgeous, custom-designed hardwood Kale's kitchen for a lot less than you'd pay at a DIY store. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. At Kale's, there are never middleman markups or hidden charges that can add 40%. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. That's FactoryDirectKitchens.net.
Our focus has always been on you at Clarion County Community Bank. We're a full-service bank that offers the financial tools you need and the personal attention you deserve. You'll discover we're not just investing in our community, we're investing in you. Clarion County Community Bank.
Need reliable plumbing or heating services? Call Luton's Plumbing and Heating. Fast, friendly, and available 24/7. Call them at 814-226-8695.
NPRC helps me with the flexibility of the class times. I'm able to balance work, our hobbies of racing, and our family time in general with being able to take classes when it's convenient for me.
Affordable opportunities are endless at Northern Pennsylvania Regional College. If you're looking to start next semester or next year, apply now at discovernprc.org. discovernprc.org.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show, also sponsored by Dubrook. Here with my guest Austin Ion, and we're going to really get into the coaching part of your life now. As we kind of already discussed, 8 years at Keystone, your alma mater. I guess first off, just talk about how special it is to have that just as an opportunity to go back, coach where you went to school, and really just learn from some great minds too, in Todd and Ryan and all those guys.
Yeah, it was special. It was a lot of fun. Very appreciative of the admin at the time that when I got hired, because I was going into my sophomore year of college when Ryan got hired, and he brought me on as a volunteer, and they were okay with it, being that I had played with a lot of those guys. But they were very welcoming to it, and it was good to get my feet in the door and start working on it in the summer times while I was in college, and I'd make it back for games here and there when I could, and on Fridays. So, that early start, I'm very appreciative for that. And then, as we progressed through, my senior year of college was everybody's favorite time frame with COVID. They pushed our season to the spring. Yep. Around here still played in the fall. So, we had our spring ball we typically would have at college in the fall, and we didn't practice every night. So, there were nights where I was able to make it up to practice a little bit more, made it to more of the games. And then the next year, we just hit the ground running. Yep. And, the last 5 years really have been full time, and it's been a blast. I pretty much knew my senior year of high school that this is what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to get into. And I wanted to, to do it there because I wanted to turn the program around. I wanted to be there. There's just been a lot of good athletes, but it's just always gone south. And, I'm really proud of the work that we've put in between, Ryan's staff and Todd's staff the last, 8 years to get where we are. Before the playoffs were just something you talked about. It wasn't even like a consideration of even making it. It was just, oh yeah, there's playoffs at the end of the season. We're never going to even sniff it. To now it's, you expect to go to the playoffs, and you expect to be playing, into late November. The next step now for them is getting over the hump and getting to the district championship game. We've been to 3 district titles or district semifinal games in the last 4 years. Unfortunately, we ran into Port Allegheny every time, who is, they're having a fantastic run themselves, and it's just how the game goes. But it was a lot of fun just to go back there with people that I, grew up with, people that I played for. I had the opportunity to play for Jason Ellis, turn around and got to coach with him. I think he's a fantastic defensive coordinator, probably one of the more underrated ones in the district, in my opinion. He's just so smart, on that side of the ball. And then, working with Ryan and Todd, they're pretty smart offensively minded guys, and being able to pick their brains and learn from them over the last few years. And it's been a lot of fun. I'm really appreciative of Todd, especially the last few years, because he put a lot on my plate to help develop me to, be ready when the time comes to take over either there if it had been there, or, where I am now at Franklin. So it's definitely special. It was a lot of fun. It was not easy to leave, and I told that to everybody at Franklin when they offered me the job. This is a tough decision just because we've put so much work in, in Knox the last several years that they're gonna have a pretty good squad next year. If everything falls their way, and it was tough to walk away from that, and those guys that you've invested so much time with. So definitely a very special time. Very, very appreciative of it.
Yeah, and one of the things you just brought up, and I've always kind of wondered how the interactions go, coaching some of the guys that you played with, and you're starting to see that become a bigger thing now. I don't know that Caden Rainey down at Union AC Valley, I don't know that he would have coached anybody that he played with, but it would have been cutting it close. like guys like Bryson Bain, I know he's on the bench at Redbank Valley basketball, and he same deal. He might not have played with them, but he'd be cutting it close, So what are some of those interactions like when it's guys that you could have even had study hall with or something?
Yeah, it was definitely unique. It was fun, but I think those guys, they knew, like, I like to have a lot of fun, especially in my tech periods. We have a lot of fun, but they knew that when it was time to get serious, they got serious. I think what helped me was that I was at Grove City, so that things I was bringing back, things we were working on, were things that I was learning and doing at that level. So it wasn't like, hey, I did these drills myself a couple years ago, we're just going to do them again. Like, here's what I'm learning at the college level right now, and here's how I can simplify it and help you at the high school level. And I think that helped build that buffer of, okay, we'll listen and we'll buy in, but at the same time, like, yeah, we did. We just like ran around together in the summertime the last few years, and we had study hall together, and we had lunch together, and it was definitely unique. And I'm glad it happened, because it definitely gave me a different perspective on how to approach and handle relationships with players, and how to manage and weigh those interactions.
Yeah, and it probably had to make things, maybe, I don't want to say not as nerve-wracking, because going into any sort of coaching position, I'm sure you have a lot on your mind, but having guys that that it has to calm you down, give you some sort of comfort there, right?
Yeah, it was definitely comforting. It was like, okay, I know these guys, they know me, so if I mess up, maybe I misspeak, or it's okay, because they know who I am. They don't think I'm an idiot. They probably know I am, because we went to school together, within the last few years. But they know that, I'm not just some Joe Schmo who showed up that, I played high school football. Let me teach you. And not that those guys aren't knowledgeable, but it definitely was one of those that's comforting. Like, okay, there's familiarity here, and it definitely eased and smoothed the transition.
Yeah, and then having those relationships with the players, you've seen it as the assistant now. How important is that between coaches and players? Because there are times where you can see players and coaches that have a lot of respect for each other, maybe butt heads sometimes. But how important is it to have that good connection with your team?
Oh, it's so important. When I was in high school, I went to a basketball camp at AC Valley, and the guy's name was Ryan Goodson. He trains a lot of pros now, works with Steph Curry, but he was a young, new guy at the time. And I remember the first year I went, he made a comment, the good leaders talk to everybody every day. They don't just talk to a few, they talk to everybody every day. And I've kept that in my back pocket I was 17 when I heard that, and it's 10 years later. And I've kept that in my back pocket, and I try to talk to everybody every day, even if it's just a simple, hey, how are you? Because it shows that you care about them. It shows that you're interested in them. And you truly are. If you go out of your way to talk to somebody, you do care about them. And that helps build those relationships, so that when you get in moments of, the heat of battle, if you will, and people butt heads, because I'm sure if you've watched a Keystone football game the last few years, it's happened on the sideline with some guys, and it's a good thing, because that competitive, advantage in them and that spirit is showing through, and that competitive spirit in you is showing through, and you butt heads about it. Even coaches, I know Ryan and I would get into it at times. Todd and I have got into it a couple of times, but it's one of those that it's because you care, and it's not just because you don't like each other or you're mad. It's because you care and you want what's best, and you can, after the dust settles, you can look at each other and go, well, that was silly, or hey, we were just doing that because the heat of the moment, we wanted what was best, and we were trying to figure it out, and it was just frustrating, something was going wrong. So like, those relationships are super important, because that's how you can tell the difference between if you like somebody or not. Right. And if I'm yelling at you on a Friday on the sideline because I don't like something the defensive line's doing, it's not because I'm mad at you and I don't like it. It's because I want what's best, and you probably want what's best too, and you're frustrated too. So we both know deep down inside those relationships are what, we're here for what's best. So it's so important to have those strong relationships with your players and your coaches.
Yeah, I know we've talked about, some of the coaches in your lifetime that, have had a big influence on you, but who are some of the other people that, even if it's not a coach, that have had an influence on maybe a message that you give to your players or a style that you have with your players? Who are some of those people that have really influenced your way of life, really?
Oh, there's so many. There's so many to name and count. I mean, my parents, obviously, first and foremost, my parents, I wouldn't be where I am without them. And they give me a lot of really good insights that, I wouldn't think about. My mom, she was the manager and, statistician of the North Clarion boys when they won those back-to-back district titles in basketball. And when I was playing basketball in school, sometimes I'd be struggling and, she'd be the one, do this, or, don't think, or, and it's like, oh yeah, but she never played. But again, she was around, good hoops, so she knows what she's talking about. So you listen to that, or my dad, he did play, and he played football, he played basketball, so he understood maybe some of the stuff. There's just so many people. My wife, she's been super supportive. Sometimes I'll come home and I'll tell her about things, and she'll say, well, maybe do this, or maybe do that, or did you think about this? And oh, well, no, I didn't. Maybe I'll approach it that way, or there's just so many people, even outside of coaches I've worked with, coaches I've played for. We could sit here for the next probably 4 hours and talk about people. Right. Every interaction that I have, I try to take something away of, what can I do better, or what can I learn from that, or I like the way they handled that and they approached that. I think I've been blessed to spend a lot of time with Greg Heath as a non-player, and just taking the book and just being able to watch from afar. And I remember it was a couple of years ago, something happened, and I said to him after the game, so why didn't you yell at that? Why didn't you yell at the kid? Like, I'd have lost my mind. He was like, he's already beat up over it. There's no point in yelling at him anymore. Like, he knew. And I was like, I never thought of it that way before. Right. I'm going to take that approach with me to my sport now. If a guy's already, you can tell when a guy knows, so why kick him while he's down? Let's just pick him back up. So, the influences, every interaction you make, you try to take something that you can use elsewhere in your life.
Yeah. And now heading to a new school, what were some of the conversations like, maybe with Todd or with some of your players, maybe before you made the decision or after you made the decision? What were some of those conversations like?
Yeah, so when I interviewed, I wrapped up my interview, I left, I called Todd immediately after. So I called him first. When I saw the posting, I called him and I said, hey, I sent it to him. I said, hey, this is interesting to me. I said, I don't know how seriously interested I am, but I'm interested. And he was very supportive. Apply, go apply, just see what happens, and I wrestled it all week. I sent it to my wife, and she was, if you want to do it, do it. So, I wrestled it all week, and then I finally sent it in, and I would talk to him on and off throughout it, but then after I interviewed, I called him, and I was like, hey, here's how it went, and they said they'll do second round, and I think I'll at least get a second interview, and then we didn't do a second interview. They just offered me the job, and when I called him to tell him, I think he probably knew deep down inside that I was probably going to end up taking it, even though at the moment I was saying, I'm not taking it. He was just super supportive of the whole thing, and just, you got to do what's best for you. You can't worry about yourself. You can't worry about us in the program. Opportunities like this only come so often, and that was from multiple people. These types of opportunities only come so often. You don't, if you want to pass it up. But if you don't, nobody's going to blame you. Really, everybody I talked to was just make sure you're comfortable with it. Take your time. Know it's the right decision. If you got to pray about it a bunch of times, pray about it a bunch of times. I talked to probably 7 or 8 different people in the coaching world. Todd, Greg, or two of them that like, what do you think? And that just came down to, make sure you're comfortable. We have faith you can do it,
Right.
and you got to trust yourself that you'll be okay and you can do it. And it really just came down to that. Okay, yeah, I can do it. I know I can. This is what I want, and this is the decision I have to make. So, they were good conversations. They were just more reassuring, and just calming the nerves
Right.
and the fears, and just being encouraging through those conversations.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, we've kind of been through the Keystone end of things now. We're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we're going to put our heads down and we're going to get into the Franklin side of things now. I know, I'm sure you couldn't be more excited about it. So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about it, maybe get a little bit of a preview of what we might see in the fall, maybe what you guys are going to be doing this summer. But you're watching the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show, also sponsored by Dubrook, and we'll be right back.
Redbank Chevrolet, Clarion County's trusted vehicle dealer. At Redbank Chevrolet, we're more than just a dealership. We're your neighbors, your go-to team for everything Chevy. From the moment you walk through our doors, we're here to exceed your expectations with unbeatable service, great selection, and a fun car buying experience. Stop by or schedule your visit today. Together, let's drive.
Lung cancer screening has been shown to give people the best opportunity of beating lung cancer at a very early stage.
I'm Jane, and I received expert care here at Independence Health System.
Since 1946, we've delivered. From commercial to residential, we've got you covered. We proudly serve and support our local communities. Call 844-DO-BROOK or visit us online. Dubrook, your trusted ready-mix concrete supplier.
MPRC helps me with the flexibility of the class times. I'm able to balance work, our hobbies of racing, and our family time in general with being able to take classes when it's convenient for me.
Affordable opportunities are endless at Northern Pennsylvania Regional College. If you're looking to start next semester or next year, apply now at discovernprc.org. discovernprc.org.
At Clarion Forest VNA, we bring compassionate care to your doorstep. From skilled nursing to hospice services, we're here for you and your loved ones. Clarion Forest VNA, your trusted partner in home health care.
Good luck to all of our area teams from Clarion Ford Chrysler.
Local sales team, local owners.
And remember to buy local at Clarion Ford Chrysler, where all your money stays to the local community.
Modern Living Solutions in Knox is always on the lookout for driven, positive individuals to join their team. They offer career growth opportunities and industry-leading pay. No experience is necessary as training is provided. Apply today and build a future with Modern Living Solutions. At First United National Bank Freiburg, the fun bank, we're more than a bank. We're your neighbor. From savings to home loans, we help you grow right where you belong. Stop in today and feel the difference at the Fun Bank.
You can afford a gorgeous, custom-designed hardwood Kale's kitchen for a lot less than you'd pay at a DIY store. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. At Kale's, there are never middleman markups or hidden charges that can add 40%. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. That's FactoryDirectKitchens.net.
This game is brought to you by Tionesta Builders? No, Tionesta Builder Supply. Family-owned and operated home improvement centers located in Tionesta and Shippenville.
For over 50 years, Carly Tire in Clarion has been keeping you rolling with quality tires for all your driving needs. And now, we're more than just tires. From state inspections to oil changes to brakes and total car care, Carly Tire is your one-stop shop to keep your vehicles safe and running smooth. Experience hometown service you can trust and quality you can count on. Carly Tire, the area's largest selection of tires. Stop in today and see why Clarion has trusted us for over 50 years.
Hi, my name is Jason, and welcome to Sweet Basil. Come on in.
Our focus has always been on you at Clarion County Community Bank. We're a full-service bank that offers the financial tools you need and the personal attention you deserve. You'll discover we're not just investing in our community, we're investing in you. Clarion County Community Bank.
Need reliable plumbing or heating services? Call Luton's Plumbing and Heating. Fast, friendly, and available 24/7. Call them at 814-226-8695.
Your eyes are the window to your soul, so take care of them. The Laurel Eye Clinic provides complete care from annual exams, glasses and contacts to cataract and retinal surgery, LASIK, and more. As a trusted leader in family eye care for 50 years, you can trust them with yours. Call or visit us online today.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Haskell House for the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show. This is Brock Jordan here with Austin Ion. We're going to get into our final segment here. Austin, you back in January took the head coaching job at Franklin, and I guess first of all, we've already kind of talked about what that decision and what that process looked like. But you know, once you fully committed, who were some of the first, or what were some of the first steps you did with the guys on your squad at Franklin?
Yes, one of the first things I did, I got hired on Tuesday the 20th. Wednesday the 21st, we had a team meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I met the kids, like right off the bat. I think a couple of days later, I made my way over to Rocky Grove and met those guys because we have a co-op with Rocky Grove. Just trying to get schedules lined up. But I just met everybody as quickly as I could, just so they could put a face to the name and kind of get to know how things were going to be, and give them my spiel on how things are going to change, and all that fun coach talk. And then really February we got after it right off the bat. We started throwing before school every Wednesday in the gym, and then the last month and a half, weather pending, we've been able to get out on the field and throw before school. Just trying to get stuff put in, just trying to spend time with the guys. We've done a max test lifting day to get the weight room program running. So just trying to get to know these guys, let them know me, and met the parents, and just really the first thing was just all about let's meet everybody. Let's again, I've talked a lot about it tonight, relationships. Like that's the most important thing. Is let's just build those relationships off the bat, and let's get after it from that aspect.
So I know you didn't, I know back when you got hired, obviously you probably had no idea, no clue what you were going to do staff-wise. Is your staff full yet, or who are some of the guys that you've brought along already?
Yeah, it's fully built. I brought Josh Albright with me. He was at Keystone there. I played for him. I had the pleasure of coaching beside him. He stepped away a couple years ago just because his job, he works up at Titusville at the high school, and the commute and timing didn't match up for him to continue at Keystone, but the commute to Franklin's a little bit more forgiving. So I brought him on. He's going to be my defensive coordinator, and I'm super excited about that. He's a super smart guy, another Grover, if you will, the Grove City connection. So, if you've probably heard Grovers take care of Grovers, we try to stay together. So I'm super excited about him coming on. I actually brought a couple young guys with me that played for me at Keystone, and Drew Keth and Quentin Graham. They wanted to get into coaching, and I thought, why not take them to a new place where nobody knows them, and they were good football players. They're smart. So we've, they're going to help out this year. And then I was just able to, I kept guys from the previous staff to try and keep some continuity, and help with the relationships part and getting what's what around the school, town, just so all those fine details that you need to know that, keep things smooth and flowing. So, no, I'm very excited. I think it's a very knowledgeable staff. I mean, we have staff with experience. It's also young. It's a mixture of youth and some elder experience, if you will. I mean, I got, 5 guys that are under 30 on the staff, which I think is awesome, because I think that brings in energy to practice that you might not get with an older staff. Not that they can't bring energy, but there's just that youthful energy, and I think it's a good mix of, with Josh, he's been, coaching for 15 years, so he's got a lot of experience. I got another guy that's from Franklin, played, USF for a little bit, played at Gannon. He's been coaching for about 10 years, so there's a good mixture of experience at the collegiate level, high school level, across the board.
Right. Yeah, and I know you talked about you kind of already gotten to at least getting some throwing in with some of the guys and stuff like that. Obviously, you don't have to go into full detail here, but when it comes to the systems, how big of a change are you bringing for these guys? How much do they really got to learn that's new to them?
I think it's a lot. Truly, I mean, we're scrapping everything that they did. So you're getting a full new offense, a full new defense, a full new special teams. And I've asked questions, I've learned, I've kind of watched the film myself on what they did offensively last year, and I think what we're going to do is way different from what they've done, the last few years, and I think it's a good thing, and they're picking it up pretty well. We've had some Saturday open fields as well, just to try and get things going. Excuse me. We had one last week, and we started finally working on the run game portion a little bit, and seeing these guys, for one day, how they're, starting to pick it up already. Like, I feel good about it. I think it's definitely more complicated what they've been doing, but it's a simple complication, if you will. Right. But you have to be diversified. You can't just do the same thing over and over and over. You got to be able to get the same play out of different formations and different looks. But it's, and that's what I've told them all. My playbook is like 400 pages long. But I said, listen, within that 400 pages, there's formations, there's motions, there's just words, my philosophy, what I want, my ideology, how to huddle, the cadence. And then you get into like the run plays, and there's cards for an even front, an odd front, maybe a bare front. Like, you're getting a card for, this is how it should look against this look or this look. So it's the same play, but it's repeated like 4 or 5 times, because I just want you to see it on paper. Oh, this is how it should look. So really, I think we have like 8 run plays, but we can run it out of, we can run them out of 5 or 6 different formations. We know how to block it against this look or this look. We don't yet. We will. Pass plays, there's 10 or 15 of them, but again, there's a card for every formation we can run it out of. Well, we could get it, we can run it out of this, we can run it out of that. So it looks like there's a lot, but there's not. And it's going to feel like you're overwhelmed, but really, you're not. And then defensively, we're just going to simplify things. You don't want kids to think too much. Even offensively, you don't want to think too much. Like, there's things in that playbook we won't touch. Right. And I've told them that. We'll put it in over the summer, we'll look at it, but I'm already telling you right now, there's some things I'm looking at, we're not going to touch it, just because it's not what fits us based off of what I see. But it's there in case it does, the opportunity does arise, it's there, and we can put it in or we can run it. So you just want guys to play fast and free and trust that, their athletic abilities.
Yeah, and this is kind of your first taste with a co-op when it comes to having to bring guys from 2 different schools, but they've already kind of gotten used to each other by now. What's the experience like coaching? And obviously you haven't had that much time to really get to experience the coaching a co-op, but what's the differences that you've seen so far just between a co-op versus coaching with a singular school?
Yeah, so dealing with a co-op, now you have to worry about 2 sets of students, 2 sets of athletes. You know, I'm at Franklin all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not at Rocky Grove as much as I probably could and should be. But it's tough to get to both places equally, especially, you know, when you know, the facilities are all Franklin, the football fields are Franklin, you know, all the equipment. You know, whereas at Keystone, everybody's there. You got one student body, one athlete, one group of athletes, everything's there. You're only talking to one group. You know, you don't have to balance, okay, I can meet with the Franklin kids at this time, but I have to meet with the Rocky Grove kids at this time, because they're on the same like schedule. They both start at the same time, but their school schedules, like their class layouts are different. So it's been a fun challenge, and it's not super hard. It's just getting to learn how to
maneuver with it.
Yeah, maneuver and work through different schedules and different groups, and trying to just get everybody on the same page and give everybody the same amount of attention that they deserve, because, you know, I want more kids from Rocky Grove to play. There's a lot of good athletes over there. So just try and, you know, that'll be something, you know, come next year, throughout the year, next off season, just trying to spend more time over there than I did this off season, and that's, you know, that's just on me, you know. But you know, that's kind of been the biggest difference, is you're balancing 2 schedules compared to, you know, one. I know at Keystone, like, okay, they start class at this time, they're done at this time, so I have to be there at this time to, you know, be in the locker room, whereas, you know, everybody's, you know, it's
doing
different,
something
so,
different there.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously when it comes to some of your summer workouts, that doesn't necessarily become a problem anymore, other than maybe transportation issues or something like that. But that's on the school to figure out. So
yeah.
But I mean, when it comes to your guys' summer workouts, what are some of the things that, you know, you have planned for them? I know, is there 7-on-7s you're planning on hitting, different camps you're planning on hitting? You know, what are some of the things that, you know, just maybe for anybody who in the Venango County community can see, you know, what you're doing with these kids to really try and make them better athletes and better people?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have every Tuesday and Thursday we have a team lift, and then after the team lift we have open field. The first 4 Wednesdays, there's only 4 Wednesdays in June. The 4 Wednesdays of June, we got some 7-on-7s. We'll spend the first 3 with Todd and Keystone and Dan in Union AC Valley, because I played for Dan, so there's another, you know, connection there. And I didn't really want to do a lot with the District 10 this year. Just, I don't want people to see, you know, the recipe yet.
Right.
You know, in the words of Mike Tomlin, if I give you the recipe of the hot dog, you might not like it. Well, I don't want people to know the recipe of the hot dog yet. They can get it, you know, this year through film, and then next year, you know, it is what it is. It's all out there. You can get my game film. The last week we are going to be with Lakeview. We don't play them this year, so I felt, you know, I'm like, okay, you know, doing something with Lakeview. He reached out. So, you know, that'll be our 4 Wednesdays in June, and then we'll kind of pull that back. And, you know, we just, and I like that we're going to work with, you know, Todd and Dan for those first 3 weeks, because they're on the same page as I am when it comes to 7-on-7s. It's a learning tool, not a, I come out here and do just a bunch of stuff to win.
Yeah.
We're just going to work on
your systems,
our
stuff
system,
like that.
our stuff. We're going to take time and teach. We're going to learn. It's just, it's for reps, and it's a great tool for reps if you use it right and you don't abuse it to just say, I could run this play every time and this will be open and we just march down the field. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing at that point? So, you know, I'm excited to get that started and, you know, get out and see how my guys compete against, you know, other schools, and truly see, you know, athletically and skill-wise what I have. You know, and then, yeah, all summer we'll be lifting every Tuesday and Thursday, open fields, and, you know, we got a lot to put in, a lot to learn, and, you know, the summer is a big time to work on technique and installs, because you just don't have that much time in season. So you got to take advantage of the time that you get, and, you know, it's not mandatory for the PAA. It's not mandatory. So, you know, you just got to encourage guys to be there as much as you can. But obviously, you know, if you're off on vacation, by all means, you know, go hang out with your family, go do things. It is the summertime. So, I mean, that's pretty much the summer, you know, in a nutshell. We did get invited to, there's a lineman challenge at Conneaut. I gotta get registered. I gotta find guys that want to go. So I might go out and do that, just kind of check and see where we stand as a line.
Right.
But other than that, this year, not much this year. I think it's just one of those. There's a lot to do, so you got to weigh what's important. Next year I'd like to get away to a camp or some of that stuff in the future, but we're not there yet. So.
Right. Not to get too off topic here, but just your Tomlinism there. If Mike Kalinowski hears that, he'll start crying again because he's a huge Mike Tomlin fan. For any of you guys that didn't know that, so he's devastated he's gone. But make sure you remind him that you've heard that, and anytime you see him out there, because he'll love to hear it. But with this shift, I know you already said your 7-on-7s, things like that. You're not gonna hit D10 with them, but D10, man, they have some very good football teams over there that way, and it can call for some really tough schedules.
Yeah.
You play some big schools sometimes. I know, just looking over the schedule the last few years, you have schools like General McLean there.
Yeah.
I mean, what's kind of your thought process where you're getting into all these different schools that you haven't seen before? It's going to be probably, I'm sure, a lot of film watching for you over the summer, just especially with teams that have the same coaching staffs back. That probably makes it a little easier. But talk a little bit about that transition into a district that has a lot of really good competition.
Yeah, I mean 4A, it's big boy football now, and I love it. We're not going to run from it. We're not going to hide from it. We got McLean. They're pretty good. We got Cathedral Prep. I think they were down last year, but that's not very typical of them. They're Oil City, they've been really good the last few years. We got some big schools on the schedule that I'm excited to play. I'm excited to see something different, get a different feel for Friday nights and how they approach it up there in District 10. And it's nice to get out, be a fresh face, a new face with the officiating crews. They don't know me,
are you a back pocket kind of guy when it comes to the coaching and the officiating, or are you pretty quiet when it comes to that?
It just depends what's going on. You try to make friends with You try to make friends with them. You try to be nice to them in general, because you're very appreciative of them being out there. I mean, really, we couldn't do it without them. And so you want to be nice because you want to keep coming back, because you want to keep playing. Sometimes you're going to get mad, but it'd be nice to get out, fresh start. Nobody knows who I am. Get out on a good foot, get it started. Because a lot of these guys at District 9, they remember from when I played. So sometimes things happen when you play. People remember. So it's nice to change it up a little bit. But I'm excited to play these bigger schools. I mean, we're a big school too. We're 4A program with the two schools combined, and we've got the numbers we can hang, and I'm excited for the challenge because there's really good football teams, and it'll be a fun challenge.
Right. Yeah. Lastly here, just to kind of wrap things up, heading into this year and beyond, what are some of the goals you have set out, whether it be the end of this year or in 5 years, 10 years? What are some of these goals that you have set out?
Yeah, I mean, I think the ultimate goal is to win a district championship. That's the ultimate goal. Right now, the goal is just get back on our feet. Franklin was a strong football program there for a while in the 80s and the 90s, and even the early 2000s, and now the last 20 years have been not good, which is, not common for them, if you will, because they have a lot of good athletes. They have a lot of good players, and I got to figure out where it went wrong and what went wrong. So, I think the first goal, first and foremost, is just getting that foundation rebuilt, changing the culture, building it back up, the slow rebuild of the program, if you will, and just, day by day. Our motto is getting better every day. It's a spin-off of, the brick by brick at Grove City, and I told Coach Dito that when we were out there. I didn't want to steal it word for word. I wanted to, change it a little bit and be my own. But we're, it's just getting better every day. So hopefully at the end of the year, my goal for the year is 5 wins. I want to go 500. I think the schedule is favorable enough to do that. But I got to remember this year. I was thinking about this on the way over. Content but not complacent was a phrase we used at Grove City all the time. That as long as things are going okay, you know, maybe we win 2 or 3 games, but we're making progress. We're more competitive, not getting blown out every week. You know, I can be okay with that, but not complacent enough that that's just a ceiling. So it's just, you know, taking it day by day. And, you know, obviously, again, the end goal is district championship, state championship someday. It'd be awesome. But, you know, right now it's first and foremost, it's let's focus on just turning this thing around, kind of getting to be a consistent playoff team. And then we can start to focus on the next step of, you know, taking that next step to be district champs. And then, you know, let's get that. And then, you know, so it's just, right now the only goal is just get better every day.
Right.
That's the goal right now.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I know we're happy to see another familiar face head to a school, especially Venango County. We're looking to really broaden our coverage there too. So it's awesome to see a local guy heading over that way. I know you'll have a lot of fans over in Clarion County, especially since you don't have to play any of them.
Yeah.
So they don't have to root against you ever.
I know. I told Ty, I said I'd love to play, but I know he won't do it. I know he won't do it. I hope he's watching because I've told him that too. I know he won't play. I'd love to though, someday.
But hey, you never know. You never know what can happen. But Austin, I appreciate you taking some time out of your night to come join us on the show. It's been a blast. Glad we can really have people really learn what you're all about. I know it's awesome to have you over at Franklin now. I know there's a lot of people excited about it, seeing a new face, trying to, you know, turn things around like you said. So I appreciate you joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a blast.
Awesome. Well, that was the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show from Austin Ion, Brock Jordan, Tyler Oakes behind the camera, behind the computer. Have a good night, and we'll see you next time.